welcome our blood views to RTD's News English edition. Tonight, for the highlights, we got the Minister of Interior. The Minister calls for tranquility and peace. End of training course ceremony, FETA 2021, Infrastructure Coast Guards. And on the international scene in the COVID-19, Florida, the new epicenter of COVID-19 in the United States. Those were the headlines. Welcome back to our newsroom, our beloved viewers. Following the recent unfortunate events that took place in the capital, the Minister of Interior, Mr. Saeed Noor Hassan, made a briefing on the situation, and I quote, I appear tonight on television to communicate to the Djiboutian population that serious events occurred today in our capital, namely in several neighborhoods of the commune of Balbala and the commune of Bil'Aus. This is to tell you these events of a new scale are intolerable because if before young people who threw stones or cut roads, today things are much more serious. It has turned out that some very ill-intentioned individuals have burned down houses belonging to Djiboutians. According to the information I have received, unfortunately, there have been many deaths. I would like to sincerely transmit my condolence to the families of the deceased, that God welcomes the people who were victims of these accidents to his eternal paradise. This evening, I would like to say to the Djiboutian population, especially the mothers and fathers, that this stone throwing is not only about children, but that there are ill-intentioned individuals behind it. And today, I inform you that the state will take its responsibilities. All individuals involved in this unfortunate event will be brought to justice in due form. Dear citizens, you know how dear peace is. This is why it is important that things calm down, and on this occasion, I call for calm to preserve the peace and security of each of us. The Naval Training Center of the Coast Guard, located at Camp Dorali, hosted a colorful ceremony closing the initial training of FETA type of the Coast Guard Class 2021. Under the high patronage of the Minister of Infrastructure and Equipment, Mr. Hassan Muhammad Ibrahim, Colonel Wa'is Omar Baghori, Commander of the Coast Guard, had the honor to welcome civilian and military guests, among whom the Ambassador of Japan in Djibouti, and Mr. Hassan Saeed Khairi, Director General of National Security, Lieutenant General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, Chief of General Staff of the Armies, Brigade General Tariq Ali Muhammad, Chief of Defense Staff, representatives of the Djiboutian Defense and Security Forces, representatives of the armed forces of friendly countries stationed in Djibouti, as well as members of society and some of parents of the young trainees. It is a young trainee representing the class of 2021 who took the floor at the beginning of the ceremony. In a short speech where he had the opportunity to look back on 5 months of intensive training during which they acquired the necessary knowledge to integrate the active service within the Djiboutian Coast Guard.
Mario kama hidho waxaan xaaxidiyo dhaxantu xamilay
xogaya mas'uul halkayaga sidiyo xananeeyayaal cilminagu xakuma nooxaydano
xirfadiyo aqoon karti loo xushaa maxeeraho Mario kama hidho waxaan xaaxidiyo dhaxantu xamilay
xogaya mas'uul halkayaga sidiyo xananeeyayaal cilminagu xakuma nooxay.
Quel honneur et quelle joie d'être en présence.
Colonel Wais Omar Boghole, commander of the Coast Guard, then took the floor and went into detail on the importance of this training. The commander of the Djiboutian Coast Guard took this opportunity to pay a tribute to the head of state by recalling that the Djiboutian Coast Guard is of his enlightened vision to provide our country with a maritime security force capable of responding in all circumstances to the maritime security challenges of the modern world and protect the vital port infrastructure of our community and our country. He also expressed his gratitude and recognition for the constant support and special attention that the head of state has given to this institution since its creation. In his remarks, Commander of the Coast Guard had also the primordial role played by the Minister of Infrastructure and Equipment, who accompanies with fervor the development of the operational capabilities of the Coast Guard. He also spoke at length about the permanent support of Lieutenant General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, Chief of General Staff of the Armed Forces, who over the years has played an important role in the development of the Coast Guard. To close his remarks, the commander of the Coast Guard congratulated the director of the course, as well as all the executives and instructors who have successfully piloted this training and have passed on their knowledge and experience to the young recruits. He finally welcomed the young trainees to their new Coast Guard family and encouraged them to translate the knowledge they have acquired into concrete actions and work with honor, pride, and patriotism in the service of the nation. Moving on to the Minister of Infrastructure and Equipment, His Excellency Mr. Hassan Ahmed Ibrahim closed the session of speeches and stressed in his remarks that the completion of this training will provide the Djiboutian Coast Guard with a possible and a strong professional workforce capable of responding to the missions assigned to this institution. He also praised the leadership of the Commander of the Coast Guard, who attaches great importance to the quality of training that the staff of the Djiboutian Coast Guard receive. A presentation of awards to the first 5 trainees of the class of 2021 followed the end of the speeches, and then the guests and trainees gathered for a family photo to immortalize the event. The guests then enjoyed a banquet in their honor in the ceremonial hall of the Coast Guard Naval Training Center, during which the trainees performed traditional songs and dances.
iskayo dareen xeliyo farsamo
xogiyo inta garaa lagu xideeyo waxaan ahay xag jire heer lagu dhaqo xagga loo socdiyo dunidan isku xidhan xubin buuxdayo xulafaanu nahay xagga loo socdiyo dunidan isku xidhan xubin buuxda
xanaaneeyayaal cilminagu xakuma nooxaydano
xirfadiyo aqoon karti loo xushaa
noo xeeraho
alxamdulilah
xuskii dhalashadayda xafladani ka dhigato waa maalin xiisa leh
iski dhalashadayda xafladani ka dhigato waa maalin xiisa leh.
In the evening at the CDC of Arta, the Minister of Youth and Culture, Madame Hibo, first lent herself with all the officials of the CDC, the elders and youth to a reminder of the expectations of the MJC, notwithstanding the various lots of equipment that are sent there a few days earlier. Dr. Hibo called on the youth and community representatives on the site to preserve these facilities and make good use of them, while insisting on giving the CDC its true original vocation of integration, a tool for transmission of Republican and cultural values and inclusive socio-economic integration. In doing so, it is under a fine rain in the freshness of Arta that took place after the interpretation of the national anthem, modern and folk dances, sketches, harmless explorations presented by the CDCs of Arta, Wea and Damerjog in competition under the thunderous applause of public that came in large numbers to support the troops of the evening. And this in front of the jury, the presence of Her Excellency, the Minister of Youth and Culture, Dr. Hibo Mu'min Asaw, located authorities and senior officials of the region. Friday in the afternoon, the Minister of Youth and Culture, Dr. Hibo Mu'min Asawi, at the head of a large delegation, moved to the region of Arta. In a city of peace, note the presence of members of the jury in anticipation of the first stage of peer selection in the regions as part of the cultural competitions Inter-CDC Summer, which took place this Friday evening at the Community Development Center of Arta. On her arrival at the Montogal, the Minister of Youth and Culture and the staff accompanying her were welcomed by the Prefect of the region, Mr. Muhammad Hassan Sheikho, the President of the Regional Council, Mr. Elmi Buh, elected officials, the President of the Youth, several other representatives of the region, many young people, notables, and elders. The Minister thanked the authorities, the youth, and the population of the city, the capital of the region, for their welcome and hospitality. As we are seeing the images that took place of the visit. Moving on to the United States, particularly in Florida, the new epicenter of COVID-19 in the United States is breaking records. In the midst of a new wave, Florida has broken the record for the number of COVID-19 cases in a single day. According to data from U.S. federal authorities released Saturday, they reported 21,683 new cases in the state alone. I repeat, 21,683 new cases in the state alone. Florida has become the new epicenter of the Otidon in the United States. 1 in 5 new cases has been reported there. The data was published on the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, which is also called as CDC, and which website they demonstrated the speed at which the disease is spreading in the state. As of the previous day, 17,334 new cases had been reported. A dozen houses burned and people were injured in the major forest fire in the northwestern Peloponnese near the city of Petrus. According to a provisional assessment by the Greek Civil Defense, 5 villages have been evacuated due to a large fire which broke out in scorching temperatures. Some 145 firefighters, 50 trucks, 8 water bombers, and helicopters were mobilized to fight the fire in the region of Syria, according to the fire department. According to the civil protection, 56 forests broke out in the last 24 hours, most of which were quickly brought under control. By this, our beloved viewers, we conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us and make sure to stay safe. Wish you all a wonderful evening. Thank you.